I lived my entire life waiting for this moment.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the best young stars whose childhood fame continued into their adult lives.
Wait, you're being serious right now?
Mm-hmm.
You're not joking with me? Like, you're 100% serious?
Number 30, Daniel Radcliffe. Plenty of child stars have taken on leading roles, but few have made as big of an impact on a franchise and a generation as Daniel Radcliffe.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
A wizard.
The decade-long performance for which he became known was impressive in its own right. But thankfully, Radcliffe didn't fall off the map after shutting the book on Potter. As an adult, he's had a rather dynamic career, playing everything from a farting corpse to Weird Al Yankovic.
Have a banana, have a whole bunch. It doesn't matter what you have for lunch, just eat it.
If there's one thing Radcliffe has managed to do, it's say Expelliarmus to typecasting. Outside of the acting world, he has also frequently leveraged his childhood role for good. For instance, by speaking out against transphobia of Harry Potter's creator and producing a documentary about his former stunt double.
Such highs and such lows, but was able to find light in the darkest of places.
Number 29, Kristen Stewart. Twilight pushed Kristen Stewart into the mainstream just as she was becoming an adult. But the landmark role wasn't the first time she had been seen on screen. At the age of 12, Stewart gave a harrowing performance as Sarah in David Fincher's Panic Room and won herself a nomination for the Young Artist Award as a result.
That room. The panic room. No, you gotta press emergency stop.
The thriller gave her career the kickstart it needed, landing her starring roles in films like Speak and Zathura in the years leading up to Twilight.
Are you afraid?
And although her performance as Bella Swan initially received criticism, the success of the fantasy franchise has only propelled her career forward in recent years. Consequently, this actress has had one of the most interesting and varied filmographies in the business.
I've been imagining how they'll write about me in 1,000 years.
Number 28, Alia Shawkat. Arrested Development was ahead of its time, frequently garnering critical praise for its strong ensemble cast in spite of low audience numbers. Among that brilliant cast was a teenaged Alia Shawkat, who frequently held her own against her more seasoned comedic co-stars.
You're my cousin, aren't you?
Maybe.
This is George Michael's cousin, maybe.
Though the show's prolonged popularity has led to it being Shawkat's most recognizable role, she didn't quit there. In addition to playing memorable side characters in movies like Whip It and Green Room, she played the lead in the TBS-turned-Max original Search Party, wherein she captured the entire breadth of human emotion as complex millennial murderer Dory Seif.
I killed him. And then I killed my neighbor to cover it up. And then I lied about it.
The actress has also dabbled in voice acting, featuring in Adventure Time, Big Mouth, and most recently, the critically acclaimed sci-fi Scavenger's Reign. Number 27, Thomas Brodie-Sangster. The world fell in love with Brodie-Sangster's angelic face the moment he ran through an airport for the girl of his dreams in Love Actually. But the actor has left such innocent roles behind.
I thought you didn't know my name. Of course I do. Oh, Jesus.
Through his portrayal of a young Paul McCartney in Nowhere Boy, Sangster showed that he's not a little boy anymore.
I present to you Mr. Paul McChamley.
Thanks, John. Kind words.
I didn't mean them.
Since then, he's adopted a hyphenated name and racked up a filmography that nicely balances franchises like The Maze Runner with quieter fare like The Death of a Superhero.
What does matter is who we are now and what we do right now.
But perhaps most notably, fans will recognize Brodie-Sangster as Jojen Reed on Game of Thrones.
You can't kill it, you know.
Why not?
Because the Raven is you.
Number 26, Jurnee Smollett. You may have initially encountered Jurnee Smollett in her role as Geordie in On Our Own, or as Denise in Full House.
Hi, Michelle. Hi. You want to share lunches today? No, thank you. I got a bologna sandwich.
Maybe you are even lucky enough to have seen her award-winning performance as Eve in Eve's Bayou. The actress began working on sets early, taking on her first role when she was just 5 years old, and has managed to maintain her career into adulthood. Ironically, as with many child stars, one of Smollett's first major roles as an adult was as a teenager in Friday Night Lights.
I didn't go in there trying to fight her or anything. I mean, I was just going in there to talk to her about this whole stupid rally girl stuff.
But she's since proven that she can tackle more mature parts with just as much finesse in shows like True Blood and Lovecraft Country. And who could forget her electrifying performance as Black Canary? Number 25, Michael B. Jordan. Did you know Michael B. Jordan appeared in The Sopranos when he was 12? It's a small one-episode role, but the debut appearance paired with his recurring part on The Wire set a precedent for the kind of quality, character-driven media that would make up a significant part of his career.
That's us, man.
This is particularly true for Jordan's consistently compelling collaborations with director Ryan Coogler.
Me? Maybe I'm gonna be fine.
Fruitvale Station wowed critics and audiences alike with its heartbreaking story and powerful leading performance, while Creed offered an interesting new spin on the Rocky franchise.
Kill it all right? Yeah, kill it all right, little dude. Where was you at when I was in group homes, huh? You miss a meal?
And do we even have to mention that Black Panther became the MCU's first Best Picture nomination at the Academy Awards?
The world took everything away from me. Everything I ever loved. But I'm gonna make sure we're even.
Number 24, Freddie Highmore.
This is just a bit of silliness, really.
Should hope so. Go on.
It's always impressive when an English actor can pull off a pitch-perfect American accent, but being able to do it at such a young age is really something.
I'm sorry I was so horrible.
What's more, Freddie Highmore appeared to be gambling on what made him popular in roles like Finding Neverland and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He quickly shed the lovable English inflection when he took on the role of one of the most disturbed young minds in modern pop culture, Norman Bates in Bates Motel.
Maybe some people don't get to start over. Maybe they just bring themselves to a new place.
The show would run for 5 seasons, with the actor receiving great critical acclaim. His small screen success has continued with the complex role of the autistic surgeon Sean Murphy on The Good Doctor.
Number 23, Keke Palmer. At the age of 13, Keke Palmer competed against hundreds of girls for the title role in Akeelah and the Bee. After 5 auditions, she finally won the role and several awards along with it, including Outstanding Actress at the NAACP Image Awards.
Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?
After such a sensational breakthrough performance, future successes seemed inevitable. She took a brief detour to Broadway in her early 20s to star in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, before returning to screens in Scream Queens, where she easily held her own alongside actors Jamie Lee Curtis and John Stamos.
You're alive. Damn straight I'm alive. Can't be the next president of this joint if I'm dead.
In recent years, she has lent her voice to a Pixar film, hosted her own talk show, and starred in Jordan Peele's critically acclaimed sci-fi horror, Nope. Is there anything she can't do?
Did you know that the very first assembly of photographs in sequential order to create a motion picture was a 2-second clip of a black man on a horse? Yes, it was.
Number 22, Emma Watson. Emma Watson has had a similar journey as Harry Potter co-star Daniel Radcliffe. Like him, she went on to take more and more challenging jobs until her signature child role was practically a footnote.
I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed. Or worse, expelled.
In 2012, she starred in yet another book-to-screen adaptation, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, where we saw her as Sam, a character decidedly different from the bookish Hermione.
Welcome to the island of misfit toys.
While she's not against appearing in more family-friendly fantasies like the Beauty and the Beast remake, she's primarily leaned toward mature roles such as Meg March in Little Women.
I'm not leaving you. And besides, one day it will be your turn.
Number 21, Sean Astin.
Those are my friends, the Goonies. How long have you guys been standing there?
This Goonies star's first role was in a made-for-TV movie at the age of 10. He starred alongside his mother, Patty Duke, who similarly grew up on screen. There's no question that Astin's familial connection to Hollywood helped jumpstart his career, but as he's grown older, he's proven time and time again that his fame is not driven by nepotism alone.
Look at me now.
I get to date Joyce Byers. Huh.
If nothing else, his role as Samwise Gamgee in the Lord of the Rings franchise is a tried and true testament to his talents.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
The character is as heroic as he is hilarious, and a deserving fan favorite in an already beloved series of films. Number 20, Jason Bateman.
Just give it to me. I want more than just a 10%. I want it all, and I want to take it down there.
Decades before he was Marty on Ozark, Jason Bateman could be seen advertising Golden Grams on TVs across America. A year later, he would make his big break, performing as one of the Ingalls children on Little House on the Prairie. The role was the beginning of a long and prolific career with several prominent television roles and memorable movie moments. He nailed the gradual transition from endearing to creepy in Juno and flexed the prowess of his comedic timing in Arrested Development.
We've made nothing but sacrifices for this family, and tonight it all pays off, my boy. Tonight your granddad makes me partner.
He's even dabbled in voice acting, charming audiences with his portrayal of Nick Wilde in Zootopia.
Well, it's my word against yours.
$200 a day, Fluff. 365 days a year since I was 12.
Actually, it's your word against yours.
Number 19, Dakota Fanning.
It says a lot about your acting chops when you're getting SAG Award nominations at the age of 7.
There are 4 stages of a butterfly's life. The first 3 stages from egg to larva.
Dakota Fanning hit the mainstream as the daughter of a mentally handicapped Sean Penn in I Am Sam. There was little question she had talent, but it was young Fanning's charm and whimsy that really won us over. We adored her in Charlotte's Web and feared for her in War of the Worlds.
No.
With her recent roles as Squeaky Fromm in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and the Western Brimstone, Fanning's metamorphosis into an adult actress was complete.
I'm an old friend of George's. Thought I'd stop and say hello.
That's very nice of you, but unfortunately you picked the wrong time. George is taking a nap right now.
Number 18, Neil Patrick Harris.
One imagines that the goal of any former child actor is to not get typecast in their adult years. If that's so, Neil Patrick Harris has done well to all but obliterate the years he carried the Doogie Howser moniker.
Also, I'd like to send him to nuclear medicine for a cardiac scan at 9:30.
Thank you, Dr. House.
Harris tried once in the late 90s with an appearance in Starship Troopers as, you guessed it, a science officer.
Your basic arachnid warrior isn't too smart.
But it wasn't until How I Met Your Mother's womanizing sex-crazed Barney Stinson that Harris redefined his career.
And of course, the robot makes an appearance in the sad love ballad.
He was my sidekick, he had to be.
He subsequently became one of the most popular LGBTQ+ actors working, as well as a sought-after award show host.
Number 17, Christina Ricci.
Upon growing up, Christina Ricci rid herself of childish things as soon as possible.
I can see right through you. Kind of happens when you don't have any skin.
Little Ricci greeted America warmly in Casper and the Addams Family movies.
Are they dead? Does it matter?
But even before she turned 18, she had appeared in more maturely themed works, such as Ang Lee's The Ice Storm. Since then, she's taken on more and more risque roles, from successes like Black Snake Moan and Monster to outright flops like Afterlife.
I'm the only one who can hear you now.
Then prove to me that I'm really dead.
More recently, we've seen her intrigue audiences as Samantha Hanratty in Yellow Jackets. Number 16, Elijah Wood.
If any Hollywood actor knows the importance of initiative, it's this guy.
I've told you. I'm telling you. Kind of didn't just slip.
You may recognize him as Frodo Baggins from the massively popular Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had happened.
But he might never have been cast had it not been for the audition tape he took it upon himself to send in. His turn as Frodo made him an international star and helped the world to see him as a man instead of the boy from films like North, The Good Son, and that one scene in Back to the Future Part 2. Wood has since shown the world his abilities in breakthrough roles in Sin City and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, proving he'll be around for a while.
Number 15, Saoirse Ronan. In the early 2000s, Saoirse Ronan almost joined Radcliffe and Watson on the set of Harry Potter after having auditioned for the role of Luna Lovegood. The matchup wasn't meant to be, but the rejection led to an entirely different kind of success. Around the same time, she landed a significant role in Atonement and became the 7th youngest nominee for Best Supporting Actress at the Academy Awards. In the years following, she has taken on a few purely comedic roles and has even hosted Saturday Night Live. Dramatic, emotional performances have remained her bread and butter. Case in point, we swooned at the romance of Brooklyn and were moved to tears by her performances in Lady Bird and Little Women.
Teddy, I don't believe I will ever marry.
Number 14, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
God, if there's a God, if you're a man or a woman.
After starting his screen career as a tyke,
Why'd you shoot Phil? He was a nice man.
Gordon-Levitt became one of the stars of the long-running but underrated sitcom Third Rock from the Sun, in a role that allowed him to show off his stellar comedic timing and know-how as an old man trapped in a youthful body.
I'm in command.
Yeah, well, I'm in puberty, pal.
Once that show came to an end, he tried his hand at more dramatic roles in indie flicks like Brick. He would almost entirely shed his boyish persona to become a star in big-budget films such as Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, and Looper. Along with Golden Globe nods for 500 Days of Summer and 50/50, Gordon-Levitt founded a collaborative online production company called Hit Record in the mid-2000s.
You never wanted to be anybody's girlfriend, and now you're somebody's wife.
Number 13, Anna Paquin.
One of the youngest performers to ever win an Academy Award, Paquin's early years in the film industry were marked by a playful spirit and an ability to tackle weighty subjects.
Everyone has to practice.
When it came time to transition to on-screen adulthood, she never missed a beat with excellent appearances in respected films like the X-Men series.
The first boy I ever kissed ended up in a coma for 3 weeks.
25th Hour, and Almost Famous. Finally, completely coming of age for most audiences thanks to her starring role and Golden Globe-nominated performance in the vampire drama True Blood, Anna poised herself to have a lengthy and celebrated career in the years to come.
What do you have, a death wish?
No, I don't have a death wish. I just happen to think that judging an entire group of people based on the actions of a few individuals within that group is morally wrong.
Well, I will not let you put yourself or this bar in danger. I won't.
Number 12, Zendaya.
You're being serious right now? Mm-hmm. You're not joking with me? Like you're 100% serious because it's not funny?
No, I'm not joking.
She may still play a teen on TV, but Zendaya's transition from child star to adult actress has been remarkably seamless nonetheless. She got her start on Disney Channel alongside Bella Thorne in Shake It Up and stayed with the network through 2018 filming KC Undercover. She also, however, made a name for herself outside of Disney pretty early on, landing a role in The Greatest Showman and appearing in music videos with Beyoncé and Taylor Swift. Her varied resume has continued to help her land more mature roles like Dune and Challengers in recent years. And it's safe to say her nuanced teenage portrayal in Euphoria is a far cry from her beginnings as Rocky Blue.
I know a lot of you probably hate me right now, and I get it. If I could be a different person, I promise you, I would.
Number 11, Mickey Rooney. Beginning acting at the ripe old age of 6, Mickey Rooney spent the rest of his 93 years on this planet making appearances in front of the cameras. And though he may have passed away, his legacy lives on.
I am feared in field and town.
One of the last living silent film era stars and a Hollywood heavyweight with one of the longest careers going, Mickey proved his skills with acclaimed roles including A Midsummer Night's Dream at age 15 and an Academy Award-nominated performance at almost 60 in The Black Stallion.
And remember, you don't want him to outbreak you. You know what that means? That horse starts to settle, Ace. They open that gate, wham, like that, and some of them just scat, whap.
Mickey Rooney won awards, receipts, and hearts over the course of a multi-decade career with his humor, charm, and genuine talent.
What do you mean, who's flying the plane? Nobody's flying the plane.
Number 10, Scarlett Johansson.
Let me put you on hold.
Scarlett Johansson is best known nowadays for playing Natasha Romanoff in the MCU, although her breakthrough role was far different from Black Widow.
You've totally ignored me ever since high school ended.
You're the one who's still living out some stupid 7th grade fantasy.
The deeply cynical ghost world may have transformed her career, but she had a reputable stack of child roles leading up to it. Though she received an introducing credit in The Horse Whisperer, she had already appeared in several other films. Just as well, though, as director Robert Redford sang the praises of her maturity and calling her 13 going on 30.
Horse fell, and Judith's foot was caught in stirrup. And she was so scared.
By the time a movie carrying that title rolled around, she already had a Golden Globe nomination. Number 9. Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst, without realizing it, may epitomize this list as the girl Hollywood didn't want to grow up.
What do you don't?
Why not? Can't I change like everybody else?
After she appeared as the young vampiress opposite Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise in Interview with the Vampire, audiences couldn't picture her as an adult.
Over here?
Yeah, that's great.
Don't make me look ugly.
That's impossible.
Dunst has aged, however, starring in everything from blockbusters like the Spider-Man trilogy to experimental films like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Where will I be if there's a rupture between our two families? Am I to be Austrian or the Dauphine of France?
Dunst has also pursued more challenging, risky roles with controversial filmmakers such as Lars von Trier and prestige names like Sofia Coppola.
Do I get to say thank you this time?
Number 8. Natalie Portman.
What's your name?
Matilda.
Viewers were introduced to Miss Portman when she was barely in her tweens, but even then her acting skills made her an acting heavyweight who was wise beyond her years and as mature as her co-stars Gary Oldman and Jean Reno in Léon, The Professional.
I work for you, and in exchange, you teach me how to clean.
Ironically, when she was finally awarded an Oscar for her work, it was for her role as a woman who in many ways was childlike and repressed, living under the thumb of her mother.
It was perfect.
Whatever her age or whichever emotion she's evoking, Natalie Portman is a talented actress of the highest regard who's transitioned from child star to adult star with grace.
Annie? My goodness, you've grown.
So have you. Grown more beautiful, I mean. Well, for a senator, I mean.
Number 7. Christian Bale. When viewing the intense, often angry performances of Christian Bale's recent years, it's difficult to believe he was once a cute child actor
I can't remember what my parents looked like.
or a singing and dancing teen, but we have the movies to prove it.
All the same, Mrs. Victor, the best teacher is the University of Life.
Oh, for heaven's
Could
sake.
we finish our meal?
If you can get past his baby face and instead focus on the gravitas he brought to his characters at such an early age, his current trajectory makes perfect sense.
I didn't mean it. It was a joke.
You could see the kind of passion that even then could lead an actor to lose and gain weight for roles, even to the detriment of his health,
Don't I look okay?
and can catch glimpses of a thespian who could later lose himself entirely in his work.
I mean, I guess I'm a pretty sick guy.
Number 6. Kurt Russell.
How would I like to kick you in the shin?
A legendary Hollywood star who had his first film role beside Elvis Presley at the age of 11. Kurt Russell's career has spanned 5 decades, and his success has remained relatively constant.
That was one of those things out there, trying to imitate him, Gary.
An actor who, according to some sources, was Disney's top star of the 1970s, Russell transitioned easily from more family-friendly fare to more mature or straight-up badass roles.
Adams. They're all nuts.
An A-list actor who has also become a cult film darling, Russell's collaborations with John Carpenter ensured he remained relevant to a whole new generation of action flick fans. Meanwhile, the 2010s saw him appear in a number of huge flicks like the Fast and the Furious franchise, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and more than one Quentin Tarantino film.
And I can't afford to hire a bunch of guys that smoke cigarettes and sit around talking to each other all day on the chance that I might use them.
I got a 4-man team here, Rick.
Number 5. Drew Barrymore.
Phone.
When she first came to prominence as a child star in E.T., to say she was adorable seems like we're woefully understating things.
E.T. phone.
In one of the most successful movies of all time, Drew managed to shine even though her role easily could have been forgettable in the hands of most young actors. But the pressure of stardom and being part of one of America's most famous acting dynasties finally got to her. And it seemed as though she might end up like so many child stars whose lives hit the skids. Fortunately, she began rebuilding in the late 90s and has continued her reign as a very bankable star, as evidenced by her roles in rom-coms, the Charlie's Angels franchise, and more.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Who is this?
Number 4. Judy Garland.
yourself a merry little Christmas.
The legend goes that Judy Garland changed the lyrics to the final verse of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas because it was too sad.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
In retrospect, she may have feebly been trying to edit her life, which was filled with tragedy. Studio executives who didn't find her attractive manipulated her body and physical appearance. Although her life ended with a fatal barbiturate overdose in 1968, Garland's later years are just as treasured as the days she walked the yellow brick road.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
And the final year saw an Oscar nomination for Judgment at Nuremberg.
Will you please state your name to the tribunal?
Irene Hoffman-Vollner.
If that's not strength in the face of adversity, we don't know what is. Number 3, Natalie Wood. At least Garland fans received some sort of closure when she passed away. Natalie Wood's untimely drowning is drenched in controversy and unanswered questions. Her life, however, was one of a unique talent on display at an early age.
Well, young lady, what's your name?
Susan Walker, what's yours?
Mine? Kris Kringle. I'm Santa Claus.
Wood became America's little girl when she sat on Santa's lap in Miracle on 34th Street.
Amazing. Do you happen to have a spare piece?
Her years in Hollywood, some argue, can be viewed as the maturation of the American woman. Taking early child roles to coveted, rare middle-aged roles right up until her death.
It's a secret. That's the girl I'm gonna marry.
If her legacy is that of a girl who managed to steal the hearts of the country's parents and the neighborhood rebel without a cause, it's one that's hard to live down. Number 2, Jodie Foster.
I understand. And it means something, really.
A massively talented and respected actress who first earned an Academy Award nomination at 15 after a long list of performances.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Listen, you don't have to make it, mister.
God damn it, don't you want to get out of here?
And took home the trophy twice over the following 15 years, Foster earned her place in Hollywood.
Well, we don't know. It might be some type of advanced communication device, or it could be a teaching machine of some kind, or it might turn out to be some kind of a transport.
After making her screen debut at the age of 3, she has finally transitioned to the director's chair, and her peers hold her in such esteem that she seems to make whatever projects she spearheads a reality, including a film about a man and his beaver puppet. There are few actors who've created as many well-remembered characters as Miss Foster, who has since expanded her acting career with a directing one.
You spook easily, Starling?
Not yet, sir.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Elizabeth Taylor. Inciting a bidding war in the era of movie studio contracts, Elizabeth Taylor had both Universal and MGM banging down her door due to their belief that she was a star in the making.
Don't you love horses?
I hate them.
I don't believe it. You know too much about them.
That's when you really hate something, when you know too much about it.
Perhaps you're just scared by horses. You will stay, won't you, Mai?
To say that they were right is an understatement.
You come here then running over with wine and self-pity to conquer Caesar.
Appearing more serious and somehow older than many of her similarly aged counterparts, Elizabeth's focus eventually became one of her most priceless strengths.
Oh, well, please don't mind me. Do go on.
A woman whose power was so strong she remained a highly sought-after celebrity years after her acting career went mostly dormant.
It's really a very sad story.
Taylor's beauty and acting chops played as a child and as an adult.
Some men would give their right arm for the chance.
Which child star do you think has had the best career as an adult? Let us know in the comments.
Hey, Denton, I guess we made all the papers this time, so how'd my picture look?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.